Hey everybody, welcome back into Droogy's Lounge. I am your host, Drebins Droogy, for the show. And the episode coming up, the March 2300, we're on episode number 7. And we'll take another step today, going through some randomly selected CDs in my music library and whittle them down to see which CDs at the end of this process make the final 300. And today, on episode 7, the first 6 episodes, only 20 CDs have been kept. So we'll see how we fare today. And as we are starting to go through them, go ahead while you're on the screen and hit subscribe. And as I'm going through these, feel free to type in, make some comments, tell me how foolish I am in getting rid of some of these CDs if you think so, or reinforce some good decisions I made. I always appreciate the reinforcement as well. So without further ado, we're going to bring in Mona Joyfinder to have these randomly selected CDs. I have no idea what she has picked this week, but we'll start going through them and seeing if they have a selection here that I'm going to listen through, probably start to finish without skipping a button, maybe a sentimental value or just a very rare CD that I want to keep for that purpose. So let's take a look at number 1 here this week, and we have Grandaddy, the Software Slump. Grandaddy, indie music group, a little bit similar to the Flaming Lips Radiohead, particularly on this CD. This CD, listened to it a lot when Zach, who was here a couple episodes again, was younger, and this is one of his favorites as well. Crystal Lake, kind of a cool song, kind of a cool video if you ever see it. Some of the other Grandaddy stuff that they did before and after this, wasn't very much a fan, but this particular one's kind of a snapshot of a history of this group that I really did like. So I'm going to keep this one in the 300. This is Grandaddy, the Software Slump, and we'll put that over here in the stack of keepers. I got a big bin on the floor out of screenshot of all the ones that are either in purgatory that are probably going away or ones that are definitely gone. But over here, we'll add that to the stack of keepers. Next one here, we have a compilation disc, 2-disc set of Iron Maiden, and this covers all their years with the original lead singer, Bruce Dickinson years. Probably up to the early 2000s, I would guess, are going to be the song choices on here. I do like some of the Iron Maiden stuff, which is why I got the CD, but as far as for me to listen through start to finish, probably not one I would recommend. I know Steve Billington has a soft spot for the Iron Maiden concerts, and probably my favorite song on here is Rothschild with the original lead singer. But for a keeper for me on the top 300, I'm going to have to say no to the Iron Maiden collection. But I do think I know somebody who may want to take this off my hands and keep it in their library. So we'll put that one over here. Next up, we have the Eagles. This is a greatest hits album. Of course, the Eagles, legendary American rock band. This covers mostly their early years. And let me get the cheaters. I made it to disc 3, Mona, before I had to break out the cheaters this week. But yeah, it looks like these are mostly the times before they had one of my favorite artists, Joe Walsh, join the group. But, good songs. If you're an Eagles fan, this is probably already in your collection. I'm not going to keep it in my collection, although I do like the Eagles to a point. Some other stuff gets a little overplayed for me. They're one of those bands that's on, they can, a very talented group that they can cover different genres. So you're going to hear them on your classic rock radio. You're going to hear it on your pop radio. But for me, I'm not going to keep this one in the top 300 on the Eagles. So we'll put that over here. Next here we have a group, Stereolab, Dots and Loops, and this is another alternative band. I don't really, to be honest with you, remember any songs off of this particular CD. So I can't give you much history or any insight onto it other than I bought this, probably played it back in the day when I got it. Didn't think much of it, and it's probably one that Miss Mona probably had to get a lot of dust off, because I don't even remember running this through for a second listen. So if I'm missing the boat on Stereolab, this is where you need to jump down in the comments, hit comment, tell me what did I miss out. Maybe I'll put it a playthrough again. And who knows, I might get to the end of the road here and I only have 200 CDs, and I might have to go jump back into the bin and pull some out of the scrap heap. Maybe this will be one. So let me know if I'm missing something here on Stereolab. All All right, next up here we have, let's see, Smashing Pumpkins. This is Pisces Iscariot. Smashing Pumpkins, I did keep one of theirs so far. From when they broke in the early 90s, I kept that CD. But this one here, looking at the song list, and not really many that I was very fond of. So a good band in concert. Billy Corgan also doing some cool things, promoting professional wrestling and things like that. But for as far as more of a deep cut for me on the Smashing Pumpkins library, I'm going to have to say no to this entry here. Next up we have Neil Diamond, and this is The Rust Never Sleeps. Again, Neil Diamond, or not Neil Diamond, excuse me, Neil Young. Quite a difference. My mistake. Neil Young. There's some decent songs. Hey, Hey, My, Out of the Blue, and then the closer, Into the Black, kind of, opening and closing this set here. Not really one I'm going to keep. I kind of dove into the Neil Young catalog when I heard Harvest Moon and then the original Harvest, so then I just kind of went out. I know he did some stuff with Pearl Jam in the early 90s, so kind of went on a binge of just checking out all of Neil Young's stuff. And this one really didn't catch on with me. But hey, that's what you did back in the day when CDs were a thing. You couldn't just listen to everything you had on Spotify. You had to actually buy these things and then decide if you keep them or not, which is kind of the point of the whole show here. So this particular Neil Young entry, though, the Crazy Horse, Rust Never Sleeps, is going to have to go in the go away bin. All right, the Verve Pipe, Pop Smear. This is not really an album I thought much of. The Verve Pipe and the Verve, a couple groups that came out in the late 90s, mid 90s, kind of the one-hit wonder type groups. This particular CD, I don't remember much off of it. Again, this might be one where I could be told I'm making a mistake. I'm missing out on something here with the Verve Pipe, but I don't really remember anything catching on with me. So this one I'm going to have to say no to. Don't really have much to add to it. So this one will go over here. All right, next. Okay, here we go. Here's Prince and the Revolution, The Purple Rain. Of course, this is an iconic album. Prince, of course, one of those guys in music history, rock history, that could do pretty much everything. Some of my favorite things to do with Prince, go on YouTube, watch his performance at the Super Bowl in Miami, playing Purple Rain, In the Rain, very iconic. Did a Foo Fighters cover at the halftime concert, which is pretty cool. And then you can see him just tearing it up when he jumped in on the Hall of Fame ceremony with Tom Petty and played While My Guitar Gently Weeps. So but he's not known as being necessarily a rock and roll guitarist, although he was great. He did a little bit of everything. This was his iconic album. This was an album that came up in my young years, early teenage years. And not really many on this one I would hit skip to go by. So I'm going to put this one in the keeper. Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, of course, those are the ones that everybody knows. I've heard them a million times. I really haven't got sick of them. So this is definitely going to be a keeper for me. Prince and the Revolution, The Purple Rain soundtrack. So 2 keepers so far this week. Next we have the Rolling Stones, The Beggar's Banquet album. And this has Sympathy for the Dead, Street Fighting Man. It's got some of their more famous cuts on it. I'm probably going to err on getting rid of this one, although the Rolling Stones, of course, as legendary as they were, it'd probably get a lot of hate for this one, getting rid of some Rolling Stones. But this particular one, I'm going to have to say no to. There's a couple also during this time frame that I would probably hold on to. And you know what? This one might go into the question mark bin for at the end of the road, into the journey. Do I pull one out of the heap? This was one that's going to be maybe on the top of that stack to revisit. But for now, let's go ahead and put them in the go-away stack. Okay, up next we have Living Color. And this is not the album that has a Cult of Personality on it. It was the one that came out after they broke big with that particular CD. This particular album, though, not much that I got away anything from. Wasn't a big fan of it. It's not a bad. They weren't a bad group. They're very entertaining. They was able to catch them back in my college years at the University of Florida at the free band show concert they had, which was a very cool concert to go to. But this particular CD, I don't remember listening through it much at all. So I'm going to have to say no to this Living Color CD. All right, we have this CD here is Super Bowl Priceless Frames. This is going to be probably one that's going to go in the Keep selection because this is a local Gainesville band that was out during my college days. A CD from them. Probably haven't listened to this thing. It's probably another one that we had to scrape the dust off of, but I'm going to listen to this thing again if I can find a CD player around the house that works. This probably isn't even going to be on Spotify, so this is going to be a keeper simply because of the time frame. A college group, Super Bowl. If anybody from Super Bowl is watching this, I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. What if you're still keeping up playing music anywhere? That'd be cool to hear from you. Shoot me an email, a comment, and that'd be great. But Super Bowl is going to go in the keeper, but it's got to go in the re-listen to section of the keeper list too. And finally, we're going to come up. The last one here is the Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. This is a live album, of course, of the original group when they were still hot and heavy, kind of towards their heyday time. This has got all the hits played live: Psycho Killer, Burning Down the House, Once in a Lifetime, Take Me to the River. So this one, this one's going to stay in the keeper list. I also remember hearing this playing on a trip with my good friend Vince Arnold down to West Palm to see his grandparents, and we had this thing playing in the background, and that kind of sticks out. So a cool CD, very good live versions of all these songs from the Talking Heads, and definitely just kind of a memory bank for me there on that road trip with Vince. So we're going to keep this one in the keeper. So pretty good percentage as things go on the keeper side. So before you go ahead and close down your window here on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like as well, and please hit comments. Let's talk about the good ones I kept, the mistakes I made over here, and we're going to catch you here just in a short time for another episode of the March 300. See you later.